What is going on with Marvel trading cards? What's up, Geminites? Gem Mint here, and today we're going to take a look at my Marvel trading card collection, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the market. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss a video. We just reached our 110,000 subscriber milestone, and we're going to announce a 125K giveaway real soon. Before I even jump into this, I got to give a shout out to a couple of people. First of all, my main man 4Comics on Instagram. He told me a while ago, you got to make a trading card video. But I didn't want to just make like a news video talking about what was going on in the market. But then I had the idea, maybe I could show off my cards as well. And plus, it's the Marvel trading cards that really got me into comics as a kid. So we'll get into that. Got to give a shout out to my man Turkey Birdies on Instagram because as I was going through these to see if I had any Gem Mint contenders, he gave me a crash course on grading cards because it's a lot different than comics, and we'll speak on that as well. And I got to give a shout out to a new guy. I found this channel, Swaggle House Comics and Games, and he had a Marvel comic trading card video that I just happened to see him. I recommended, and it was really good. I suggest you guys take a look at it and check out their channel, but it was also what inspired me to make my own video. So let's jump into it. What is going on with Marvel trading cards? Well, it kind of all started with sports cards. Trading cards in general was a dead hobby. In the late 90s, it totally crashed. And you got to remember, during that time, you had comic shops and card shops. They were like half and half. They were dealing sports cards and then Marvel and DC cards while they were dealing comics. So like sports cards was huge. But then the market crashed, everything bottomed out, and the main problem with these cards is that there were just so many of them, man, millions printed. And what happens when you have so much supply, you know, the demand will decrease. And these tins, man, I was picking these things up. I don't even remember. You could check the old video. I think maybe 40 bucks or 50 bucks. Stupid cheap. But just like with 90s comics, those were also collectibles that people said would never be worth anything because Spawn 1 had a 1 million print count. But what changed the game in sports cards, comic books, and now Marvel cards is third-party grading. Third-party grading takes a collectible, like let's say a Spider-Man card from this Marvel Universe. I think this is Series 1. It might have 1 million of them made, but how many of them are graded at a Gem Mint 10? There's a census. I think there's only a handful of them, but that's what takes this high supply product and makes it a low supply. When there's a version of it that's super rare and unique, that's where the value comes in, and that's where we're starting to see a lot of demand. So before we look into these cards, just a quick example of what's going on. These tins right here, for instance, a sealed tin like this, which comes with the entire base set plus the 5 hologram cards. And by the way, why are holograms not a thing? Can we bring holograms back? I'm seeing listings right now, $500, $1,850, $1,499. Sold listings, I'm seeing a best offer accepted at $250. I'm seeing a sold listing for $1,299. Again, sealed. This one's open. Then I see a $210. I see a best offer accepted from a $1,400 listing. I haven't really confirmed all these. Some of those may have not gone through or whatever. But the point is, you guys are seeing the market boom with trading cards. Things that we once thought were never going to be worth anything. And real quick, let's take a look at what I'm talking about with third-party grading. So we all know CGC does comic books. You have different companies in the trading card space. CGC just started doing cards, and they only grade Pokemon and Magic the Gathering right now. But you have Beckett, which is like, I think the biggest name in sports cards, which I think owns a piece of CBCS now as well, or something like that. And then you have PSA. So let's look at some PSA listings on eBay. From the 1990 Marvel Universe set, this set right here, you have a Hulk listed for $1,249. You have a Wolverine card listed for $1,000. You have an X-Men team card listed at $750 for the Gem Mint 10 highest graded card. Looking at some sold listings, it looks like a different Wolverine card sold for $770, a Cosmic Spider-Man that sold for $1,250, and then some other ones scattered about $350, $26. It seems like if you would have sold these cards a month ago, you sold too early because right now everything is booming. We're going to take a look at my collection, and the biggest thing I'm going to talk about is the grading and what you have to look for when you're wanting to find a card that could potentially be a Gem Mint 10. Before we jump into that, guys, you got to check out our friends at Street Level Hero. They have exclusive variant comics that they have drops every Tuesday and Thursday. But the biggest thing is they're having a huge sale that's actually going to be a week-long sale starting this weekend, where if you buy 3 variants, you get 3 for free. This is going to be any of their in-stock 2020 variants. It will greatly help support the channel, and if you want to buy some of their new 2021 variants, remember to use the code GemMint to save 10%, and you can use that code anytime you shop there. The first set I got to talk about is the set that got me into comic books as a kid, the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces, which I've had custom framed at Michael's, and they did a really good job on this frame. They didn't do a good job on my 1996 set, and you can check this video out right here if you want to see what happened to those. But I absolutely love what Joe Jusko did with this set. As a kid, I had already seen characters like Spider-Man and Batman, obviously, but it was something about this set of cards, the realism and just how lifelike they were, and I wanted to learn more about them. And what was cool about these cards is that on the back it showed you either their first appearance or first cover appearance. So that's what made me go to my local comic shop and start looking for these stories so I could learn about these cool characters. Not only that, I only knew about the regular cards until one kid on the playground one day had the Wolverine vs. Sabretooth bonus card, and that card blew my mind because I had never seen it before. Every other card just had single characters on it. And this one had 2 characters in a battle, and it had like a shiny kind of effect to it. I was hooked from there. The fact that you had these bonus chase cards, it just drew me in at such a young age. And that's what started my love for comic books. All right, let's start off by looking at the tin and the set that I've been talking about this whole time, the Marvel Universe 1990 series. This is series 1. And these tins were awesome because they come with these all sealed. And that's why they're going for so much on the aftermarket, because people figure that these ones that came sealed might have the best chance of being Gem Mint 10s. So anyway, these are the holograms, and when you're trying to determine what grade these are, it's hard, right? Because they all look super sharp. All of the corners look great. There isn't any blemishes or creases or spine ticks or things that you would look for in comic books. But one of the biggest things is the centering. Look at the white border on the left here compared to on the right. That's going to kill the chances of this being a Gem Mint 10. And unfortunately, with all of the hologram cards and all of these sets, they're notoriously hard for finding good centering. So the Magneto, look at Wolverine, bad centering. Okay, now what I have here are ones that I picked out that I thought could be Gem Mint 10s that I would send to PSA. Look at this Black Panther, perfect centering, man, like on the right and the left, the top and the bottom. If I'm looking at the corners, everything looks great, man. The Archangel, good centering. So I just picked out a few that I thought if I were to send them, these are doing good too, man. Now I'll show you an example of some bad centering on the regular cards as well. All right, so here's one of these most valuable comics cards. So you can see the border on the top looks much thicker than the border on the bottom, right? The X-Men one. The border on the left looks a little bit bigger. On the bottom looks a little bit bigger. So that would keep it from being Gem Mint 10. This one looks okay. Let's see what else we got. I remember, yeah, the Avengers one, the border on the right looks a little thinner, right? So the Stanley card looks really good too. It has pretty good centering. The only thing is mine had like this kind of like blemish here on the top. Let me see if I could even show it. I don't know. It might be worth sending in, but it's kind of expensive, and there's like a long turnaround time on these cards. But this Stan Lee card is going for a lot of money in a Gem Mint 10. All right, then we have Marvel Universe Series 2 with the Mcfarland Spider-Man tin. And I didn't mention before, but the tins are going for a lot of money, but what's really going for crazy money are the sealed boxes that come with all the individual packs. So these are going to be very similar. The centering is the big deal. See how this one on the right, the border is thicker than it's on the left. The Thanos one looked really good, though. And that's a dope card, too, right? So Thanos, Venom. The Venom one looks okay. Sometimes the longer you look at these cards, you try to convince yourself that the centering is good. Always like when they had the stats on the back. These were kind of like modeled after baseball cards. And the holograms on this one. So you could tell really easily with the centering on these. Look at the Spider-Man. Look at the border on the right, how thick it is to the left. And it even looks like it's on an angle. It was probably harder to cut these from the factory, right? Because they were all silver, harder to see. Let me see if I can get Doom. See, it's even hard to film. The Hulk one looks okay. But yeah, the border on the right here is way thicker. Here's Punisher. So that's the Series 2. They have the villains and the superheroes. Awesome set as well. Okay, so Series 3 is the set that everybody had. This is when it got really popular with the success of 1 and 2. You got Ron Lim artwork here on the side. The tins are awesome. You got Thanos here. These ones were cool because when you put them in the 9-card sleeves, like look at this, see, they kind of connect on the background. So this one is harder for me as a noob in card grading to determine the centering. I guess you kind of got to measure the right and the left and determine, you know, how many centimeters it should be or whatever. And then same with the hologram. Like, how do you tell the centering on this one? I guess you would have to like measure with the logo, the name, the top part here, and then look at this one, the corner. This would be a no good to send in. You see that? That would not hit a Gem Mint 10. The holograms are always the coolest for me. And these ones were super cool because these had the stats on the back with, you guys remember these. And like the Celestials, I always remember was like not applicable. Like, man, they're the strongest thing in the Marvel Universe. You can't even measure their attributes. This is the second series of Marvel Masterpieces. This is the 1993 set. After the original set, I don't know, the other ones just didn't really do it for me. The only one that ever came close was the 1996 set, which was the most valuable set ever. I mean, I think it still probably is. I actually recently just sold my insert cards for that set because I still had 2 of the 6-card Golden Galleries and I had 4 of the Double Impacts. But I sold those. Here's the inserts for this 1993 set. You had this kind of like shiny look to it. They didn't hold a candle to Just Go's run, man. I'm sorry. Here's the other inserts. I guess these are like the metal ones or whatever. I'm sorry. I have 1994s first. I was like, what the heck? These were the 1993s. Then Just Go did do some there. So this is like really what made Just Go my favorite artist because of the 92 set. So then anytime I see his work anywhere else, like here, I'm just like, oh man, there goes Just Go. So this one was like, here's Julie Bell. She also did the 1996 set with her husband Boris Vallejo. So then, you know, the sets are okay, but then there's some cards that I just don't care for. And then here's the 1995 Marvel Masterpieces. Now I got to check to see what these are worth because I'm sure these have probably increased. They were like a $50 set, which at the time, like what, 4 months ago, was a pretty expensive set compared to the others. But this one, it was just okay. Had some good ones, some hit or miss ones. Alright guys, that's my Marvel trading card collection video. I know I don't have the most impressive trading card collection, but I thought I would show off what I had and what's going on with the market right now. So let me know what you think about trading cards in the comments below. I know that they're coveted and loved by everyone, but what do you think about these prices and these third-party companies causing such an increase in these collectibles? Like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tomorrow, Sunday, February 13th, we're going to do the drawing for our 110,000 subscriber giveaway where we're giving away the Batman Killing Joke CGC 9.8. Still trying to figure out what I want to give away for the next milestone, but join us live at noon Eastern tomorrow. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You guys stay minty fresh. Peace.